Alright, you guys, I'm going to do all three of these in the same video, which is going to be your row series with a suspension trainer, and we'll do a separate video for using bands. But anyways, again, for our any type of pushing, pulling movement, any type of upper body movement, we're mostly focusing on how we set our shoulders, and that's going to be the most key thing that we're doing here, right? So basically what I mean by that is, of course, we bring our shoulders forward into this kyphotic posture, which is exactly the wrong position you want to be in, right? I'm going to lift my shoulders up to center, and then I'm going to drop them straight down until I get into this nice set position. Because remember that your glenohumeral joint, which is where your humerus, the bone here, goes into the glenoid process, I believe is what it's called. But yeah, this whole girdle here where your clavicle and scapula all meet. And they're basically, unlike pretty much any other bone in your body, they are floating in space there. So they're held by ligaments and muscle tissue and then pulled into the position that you need to have them in to be able to function, right? And so that's the reason why I can, protract and retract my shoulders. I can elevate, I can depress, I can go through all these different movements within my shoulder. But the thing is that when I go into certain positions here, I'm moving my humerus and that whole joint apart and breaking down the stability of it. So instead of if I were to, let's say, come here and I'm holding on to this, and I've got my legs together, and this is nice and easy here. If the further out I spread, the harder it is going to be for me to stabilize, especially when I have less to grip onto. So basically what we're doing is we're trying to get that joint to be in the most stable position possible, okay? So the way that we do that, some people can, okay, I know that's the position. So my scapula comes together, which are these two wings right here, right? My shoulders are back and down. There's no elevation here, none's higher than the other, and they stay there for the duration of the movement. So a low row is this type of row, right? So it's like the reverse of a tricep push-up. So I'm pulling my arm straight back. A mid row is going to be at this 45-degree angle, and a high row is going to be up at this level. Now for the high row, guys, if you can't do a high row without your shoulder elevating, then you can go a little bit lower, and that's going to be a better thing for you to do than trying to do it from this shrugged position, okay? And so if you're using a actual TRX, which I'm not here, obviously, I want it to be put onto the lowest setting. So when you're setting up a TRX, it should be 3 to 5 inches off the ground when it's fully extended. It's going to be the base of that, right? Is how low you're going to set it up. And then you're going to, when the tab is all the way up, the slider goes all the way up, then you're in the short position, right? So this one doesn't really have that. So I just got a carabiner to decide that. So to make a rowing exercise easier or harder, it's going to be this is a hard position compared to higher up, because gravity, remember, pulls straight down, and the more of my body is parallel to gravity, the more that I have gravity acting on my body for resistance, right? So if I can get directly below this point, which I can't do with this set, but I can do it with my little ropes here, I can do what's called an equalizer row, where I am basically parallel to the ground as much as possible, right? So my knees are going to be bent and then be in the kind of reverse plank position. For that, for a TRX, we go into the position that's known as dog ear, where you're actually going to slide the sliding apparatus, the clip here, all the way up as far up as it can go, and then you get these little ears off the side with leftover webbing, and that's going to allow you to get directly under that point. So without further ado, when I'm doing the TRX work, right, I'm going into that scared dog position. I'm tucking my belly button in. I'm trying to keep a straight line from my shoulders, or the top of my head, all the way to my heels. My eyes should be up on the point. Yes, I've got that bad habit of tucking here, and it's something that we all need to work on, right? So when I do a low row, my elbows are going to be pinched into the sides here. I'm going to extend out, and then I'm going to blow as I come out here. Now, to progress or regress a low row, the closer to my armpit that my hand is, the easier it's going to be, and the closer it goes to at least as far as my lats are concerned, the closer to my hip I pull it, the more resistance I'm going to get into that. So if I were to go here and pull down by my hips, right, it becomes harder to keep your shoulders set, but you're putting more resistance onto your lats, and that's going to be especially true when we're working with dumbbells or something along those lines. So for your mid row, I'm going to go out into that 45-degree angle here, boom, And then for the high row, I come here. Now, if I need to, and I can't get up, I can always put my leg behind, and then I can use that leg to push me back up. You see, I'm not using my arms at all here. So there goes the 3 different rows that you can do with a suspension trainer.